I don't think that they're good. I think that they're awesome. My friend's band, my friend's band, my friend's band.
Hey, I'm Casey.
And I'm Joanna.
And this is My Friend's
Band,
our new podcast.
We have a ton of super talented friends who make music. Every episode is a conversation with one of them, where they tell us their story and they sing us their songs.
Well, actually, our first episode is a conversation with two of them since we're starting out with the incredible double Deuce. Toby Goodshank and Angela Carlucci are brother and sister, and they're great musicians and songwriters on their own, but when you put them together, they have that sibling Shazam.
Double Deuce songs are catchy, surprising, sometimes dark, and sometimes hilarious. The first time you hear them, you're amazed, and then the second time you sing along. Maybe that's just me.
No, everyone thinks so.
Anyway, Toby and Angela are so important and central to our music community because of their huge talent, the huge amount of collabs they do, and how incredibly kind and welcoming they are.
It's true. Toby and Angela treated me as a friend pretty much from the moment I met them. To paraphrase a Double Deuce song, that's their thing.
Double Deuce has a new record out for the first time in 20 years! Warm Ham in a Foreign Home. You can get it on their Bandcamp and listen to it lots of other places.
I'm sure you can, but go buy it. We'll put the link in the episode description. And by the way, did you like our opening theme? They also wrote that for us. Thanks, you two.
Thanks. We hope you enjoy our first episode.
Yeah.
There's music, there's laughs, there's weird stuff about Connecticut.
For sure. And make sure you stick around to the end to hear which friends Toby and Angela think we should talk to next. Okay, here we go.
Double Deuce!
Here we are at Battalion Studios in Studio 3.
Mamma mia.
And somehow we're in a moment of relative quiet in here
Yeah.
where we don't have Sweet Child of Mine playing behind us.
Yet.
Which would have been amazing anyway. And I won't be sorry if that starts up again. But I'm so happy to be here with you both. And this is Angela and Toby from Double Deuce.
Hi, we're so happy too.
Howdy doodle. Italian Studios.
I think we started off talking about this and I sent you two an email saying why we were inspired to do this show. And one of the things that is at the heart of it for me is just that we've been to all these shows over the years where we hadn't heard somebody and then all of a sudden you hear them for the first time and you're totally blown away and you feel like, oh my gosh, this is some of the best stuff I've ever heard by someone that I could actually meet in real life, and you two were people that I met at Sidewalk Cafe pretty early on. And is that the same for you, Joanna?
Same. I had heard you two play music, and I remember speaking to Angela when I first moved back to New York, and I was like, oh, I'm nervous because these are all my brother's friends. And Angela, you were like, don't be nervous. That's how I felt when I moved to New York. But everyone's so nice. We're so glad you're here. You made me feel so welcome.
Oh,
so
glad.
amazing that not only you're incredible artists, but incredible friends and human beings.
What did
Yeah.
I do? That was
Thank you
nice.
so much.
Everything, Tobe. You were even more famous in my mind because you had the Moldy Peaches fame. And that was the hot moment for Moldy Peaches when I first met you. And would have never have known you had an ounce of fame in you.
Oh.
Just hugs every time I saw you. Just acted like you'd known me your entire life and always had a smile and some warmth for me.
Oh.
Yeah. And I think, Toby, I probably met you in 2001, certainly 2002.
For sure.
When I first started going to the open mic was, in fall of 2001. That was when I first moved here. And you had to be one of the first people that I saw perform there because you were just a super regular there at the time. Angela, I can't remember when you moved here. Do you remember when?
Yeah, I moved to New York right before 9/11, and I started going to Sidewalk, to see Toby play shows, and I just loved it so much. I didn't play music. I would just go and watch everyone.
Yeah. I actually moved to Brooklyn on September 9th, 2001.
No.
Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
Casey.
Yeah, but I didn't realize we were so close
I didn't
together
know
in
that
that
either.
in that
That's
regard.
cool.
There was a period of time where you were both living together. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like I imposed
No.
upon Angela many times during bouts of not having a place of my
It
own.
was fun when you lived with us.
There was a time where Moldy Peaches type touring was pretty regular, and I was like, I don't need an apartment, but I did. I just didn't want to pay. And then Angela was extremely kind.
I
How
have a
many
memory
roomies?
of going to see you two at your apartment where you lived with Crystal, and it being this huge loft.
Oh my
on-
gosh.
Was it on the Morgan stop?
That's right. Yeah. So
And
you're
that was like the first time I'd actually ever even been to that particular little part of Williamsburg, and I was like, wow, people, it didn't look like anyone lived there.
It was
like
No.
at the
desolate
time.
at that
Town.
point.
Yeah. And went up into this big old factory building, and you guys were living in this sprawling loft, but it was like a really magical place to me at the time. I
Aw.
remember.
I remember that visit, and we didn't have walls in the loft space, and we were broke. So we had like all sorts of weird fabrics hanging up as dividers,
Yeah.
and even tissue paper, just like anything we could find, hanging to create dividers to make rooms. And I remember when you came over, Casey, you and Toby were laughing. I was in my room, quote unquote, and you and Toby were like laughing so much, and it made me really happy.
Oh.
I could hear all the laughing.
Even through the tissue paper?
When I first heard you two play as Double Deuce, it seemed like it was already this kind of fully formed thing, like you'd been doing it for a long time. But I wanted to know, when you two were growing up, were there times where you would play and sing together? When did that start?
All the time we would make up little songs and dances and stuff. I feel like of the pair of us, Angela was even more the natural performer and would put on shows and stuff, variety
really?
type shows. But yeah, we would make up songs and sing them.
Who would you perform for?
Well, Angela would like put on like would do like a one person variety show for me.
Oh yeah, it wasn't for
But like, so this was like when we were like very, very little. I was maybe 5 and Angela was 3. And this would be like right before I had just started kindergarten and would have to go to bed, and Angela would like keep me up and like doing like a show across the room.
So do you remember this, Angela?
I
Were you old enough to
do.
remember it? Okay.
Yes, I do remember because I got in trouble for keeping Toby up on. We shared a bedroom, so my bed was across the room from his, and it was just fun to keep him up.
So what was in the variety show? Do you remember?
Singing,
It
dancing.
was goofy. You had like a male alter ego named Ken.
Named Ken? Really?
I don't know
What was
where
it?
that came from.
Figure out that I have multiple personalities.
It had to be said.
Do you think it was Ken because of Barbie?
I wonder. You know what? I
1000%.
didn't have a Ken, so that
You-
might have been why. I'm just realizing now.
You were
in
your
this-
own Ken.
Did you go to shows together when you got older?
I mean, as far as going to shows, we had 2 older cousins, Lucia and Katerina, still have them. And they used to take us to the city sometimes, or to like Jones Beach. I feel like Katerina would take us to a lot of like festival type shows.
Mhm.
Once I was about like in the 16 range and Angela was about 14.
Mhm.
Got to see a Lollapalooza and a Warped Tour. And then Lucia would sometimes take us into Manhattan, and we'd see like bands such as Sunny Day Real Estate or Wesley Willis
Nice.
and the Wesley Willis Fiasco.
Wow, that's incredible.
So yeah, we're getting exposed to cool stuff for sure.
Yeah, those were the first shows I'd ever been to, so it was really amazing.
When did you two start playing music and being like, we're in a band together?
I think in 2001. So I was living in the East Village. Angela would come visit frequently and was about to move. And we just started goofing around with the guitar. We wrote the song called Taboo.
A classic.
You could be my escort, take me by the hand. You could shave me flowers, and I'll shave you a smile. You could be Joe Driscoll, and I'll be the mic that gets rocked. You could be Joe Driscoll, and I will be your Brooklyn. Angela, where's your boyfriend? Oh, no, that's taboo. Gina, where's your boyfriend? Oh, no, that's taboo.
Yeah, a lot of the writing comes from like an extreme goof.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Those like super silly times when you're with the sibling. We used to joke, we were just talking about this at coffee. We would joke that someone had drugged our food because we would get so silly and so goofy and we wouldn't be able to stop laughing.
I definitely relate to that. And having everybody around you being like, what is happening?
At the time at Sidewalk, when you two started playing, I feel like that was one of the biggest hit singles of the Sidewalk Cafe era.
Aw.
Is when you play Taboo, and it was like a special point of pride during that song if you got called
Yes,
out
yeah.
from the audience, because you would change the names around of
Casey,
Joanne was-
where's your boyfriend?
Yeah. Yeah, when you listen to Double Deuce songs, it's like, at least to me, it seems that there are a lot of jokes that you came up with between the two of you, and that
Totally.
Right.
Yeah, presenting our in-jokes as though it were like a gospel.
Yeah.
It's just not.
But in doing that, I feel like you bring everyone in on the joke, and it feels like you're best friends with Angela and Toby just by
Oh.
listening to Double Deuce,
That's
because
sweet. Yeah, that's the
you get to
dream.
know like all these secret inside jokes that you're just willing to share with everyone.
That's so nice. I'm glad
Yeah.
it feels that way and not that everyone isn't included.
I don't know what all the jokes mean, but I sure know the lyrics.
I think I
Well,
know. Aw, thank you.
Who's J LaPierre? I don't know.
J. LaPierre is actually a totally made-up person.
No.
No,
No,
he's
I've
a
met
good
J.
friend of
LaPierre.
ours.
I've met J.
It's
LaPierre.
one of my bestest friends in the whole wide world.
Yeah, that song from Camp Candy that features Jay
Jay and the
LaPierre. Jay and the
Americans, it's
Americans is a brilliant song, and Jay LaPierre sweeping up the floor in the midnight hour, right?
Jay LaPierre, sweeping up the floor in the midnight hour.
Yeah, we worked at a Michael's Arts and Crafts store with Jay LaPierre, and he would sweep as we closed up the shop.
When was that, in high school that you were working
Ooh.
there? Or
Right
like
after high
post-high
school for me. Yeah, post high school. And I got a job there so I could get a discount because I was studying art and that was perfect. And then I was like, you know what would make this better? If my brother worked here and my friends worked here. So we just started
I
hiring.
got
everyone.
arrested at my other job, and I was like, I better look for a new job.
Wait a minute.
I'm like looking at Toby to be like, is this real? And I look over to Angela and she's laughing. And I don't know if you're laughing because it's totally true or it's not at all
Totally
true.
and
true.
then Angela got me the job at Michael's, but I didn't lose the job, which was at KB Toy Store in the mall in Danbury. And so then I had two fun jobs.
You got arrested at KB?
I did.
Oh man.
I got arrested for possession of weed and paraphernalia.
Oh,
That's a stupid old thing to be arrested for. That would
Yeah.
never happen now.
I know.
Well,
Now they would
I
give me
know.
an award
They would be
Yeah.
like,
and a promotion. That's right.
so Jay and is Jay and the Americans all about hanging out at Michael's?
Yes. And I don't know, we name drop. Those are real people. So it scares me sometimes when I'm like, oh God.
Do you guys want to play a song at this point? Or
Sure.
Would you like
Yeah.
to?
Sure.
I would love it if you would play whatever you want to play, but if you want to play sort of an older one from back in those times, maybe that would be cool. And then later we can talk about your new record and you can play.
Sounds great. What do you want to do?
Well, we could do window or taboo.
window.
So this song is also special because it has the shortest count off of all time. Right?
This one actually we wrote in part when after my arrest at the Danbury Fair Mall, and we were driving around the parking lot and throwing some trash out of the car into a garbage can, and we just started singing this song.
It's one of my favorite things to do is to drive around Connecticut. You know, when you have nothing to do and just driving Toby around, we would laugh and have fun.
You can write a song about anything, even nothing.
You can write a song about anything.
So take us back there.
You want to count it off?
Sure. 1.
Push it through the window into the garbage. Poke it through the window into the garbage.
Push it
Through the window into the garbage. Poke it through the window into the garbage. 16, 16, 16 on the broken vinyl. 16, 16, 16 on the broken bottle. 16, 16, 16 on the broken 16, 16, 16 on the 16, 16, 16. I'm 16 and I wanna make love to you like you want me to. You can teach me things, I can learn the things you teach to me. Jack, come home. Jack, come home. Jack, come home, so I can make love to you like you want it back. I can be your pretty mama, baby. You can be my baby's dad. Jack, come home. Ambitious. Jack, come home. Ooh, ambitious. Jack, come home. Push it through the window into the garbage. Poke it through the window into the garbage. The window. It also includes a bit of the very first jingle we ever wrote together, which is the Jack Come Home bit, which kind of ties in with another element of our songwriting that we were talking about before we got here, which is that aside from the goof element, there's also a deep well of sadness element that we process through humor, which you wouldn't really be able to tell probably, but that's part of it. And when we were kids, our neighbor's son, Jack, went missing for a time. And we made like this mockery of a song that was like, Jack, come home, over and over again.
Yeah, so weird that we were doing that.
He turned up, but it was like a creepy thing that we like made into a joke to try to understand.
Yeah, no, we started talking about it over coffee today because we were thinking about your podcast, of course, and thinking about the first times we were writing together and figuring out songs, or the songs would happen by accident. And a lot of the time we were hanging out together and it was like not a happy time, or unhappy things were happening around us. So these songs would just kind of materialize because we would be hanging out together and like laughing about.
I was on parole.
You guys are both in other bands too, right? Like a bunch of other bands.
Or have been.
Or
over
have
the
been.
years.
Yeah.
And I want to ask if you experience playing music together differently than you experience that with other people. I know there's like this idea of stream of consciousness, playing in the stream and just like being in the pocket. And for me, I get there a lot more quickly when I play with my brothers than I do with anyone else. And I was wondering if you guys would talk about any of that.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're specially in sync with one another?
Yeah, I definitely feel like songs just kind of lyrics will fly out of my mouth. And it's probably because we have a special connection. And then also I probably feel less shy and less inhibited. You know, sometimes when you're collaborating with someone, or in my own experience being a more shy person, I'll feel nervous to like suggest a lyric idea. If this is okay, we could try doing this lyric, kind of a thing. With Toby, I don't even think about that. I'm like, here's what the lyric is.
That's right. Yeah, I feel it more than our playing feeling in sync. I would say like the songwriting really flows in a way that's really fun, where we always follow the path of least resistance and kind of, if it's like making us laugh, then it's staying. If it's referencing something too specific, changing it slightly.
Slightly. Sometimes not. Just leave it in. Just leave it in.
Sometimes specifically calling people out.
Yeah. Sometimes it's needed.
Is there a typical way that a Double Deuce song starts in terms of like the way that you write it? Does something come first?
I think so. I think Toby's on guitar like a champ, and he usually starts playing something. And for whatever reason, as soon as he starts playing, I'm able to just think of something to say. Not that I start every song, but I feel like that does happen a lot of the time.
I do agree. I played the guitar like a champ, and then we start. Yeah, we just decide we're going to sit down and write a song, which in most other cases is not like a way that I'm able to work. And then we just go for it.
Is it pretty quick? Are they just kind of like bam, bam, bam? Or do you tend to tinker with them afterwards?
I think it's pretty quick.
Yeah, I'd say minimal tinkering, minimally invasive tinkering.
But that's different than how you write songs when you're writing a Toby Goodshing song.
Those really come so infrequently nowadays that I'll take them any way I can get them. And if I have to tinker, then I'll tinker. And sometimes I'll tinker for years on like a little thing, and sometimes they'll come out. I would say that Angela and I are more consistent, but it has been almost 20 years since our last album, so maybe not.
Well, what do you think was
True.
holding you up?
I don't know if it was holding us up, but I think just being in other projects and being busy with other stuff.
Well, you came out with that iconic little Cobweb album.
Oh, thanks.
So incredible. Every song on that album is perfect.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you to Casey for that, who played on that album, mixed it, mastered it,
Wrote the
recorded
songs.
it.
It was a labor of love, but it was fun. And yeah, you have your own amazing music, and Toby has his own amazing music, and you both have made a ton of it. And you have also spent the time being in so many other projects. I was wondering if each of you wanted to like rattle some of them off. Angela, why don't you say some of your other
Let's
projects you've been in?
see. Oh gosh. Well, the Baby Skins, first and foremost, that was with Crystal Madrilejos. True Dreams, singing backup for so many of our wonderful sidewalk friends. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then more recently, Gold, Frankie Sunswept,
Nan.
Nan Turner. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when you were in Mark Oswald's band.
Oh God, of course.
Oh, your biggest fan.
Biggest
That's one of
fan.
my favorites.
I was very impressed with your musicianship in that band, because I believe you were singing and playing guitar and playing keyboards in
Yeah,
that band.
thank you. Yes.
And you're both pretty accomplished side musicians, right? Toby, do you want to say some of yours?
I've done a little music on the side. I played acoustical guitar in the Moldy Peaches touring act, bass, and various other danglers in the Pizza Underground, bass on a tour for the band Darwin D's. Oh, I was in Hug a Broomstick for a time singing backups.
Yay.
Oh, who wasn't in that band?
Hug a Broomstick, Neil Kelly, Joanna's Brothers, classic anti-folk bands.
With Dash
Mhm.
Encorum
Yeah, with Dash.
and 1,000 other people.
Mhm.
That's how you made friends, really. You just go to a Hug a Broomstick show and then get on the
Right.
stage and you're in. I'm dying to talk about the new album.
So Angela and I, do you want to say it?
You can say it.
Okay, should we do it at the same time?
Okay.
Angela and I,
During COVID.
during COVID,
I mean,
Keep going.
we're
keep
still
going.
during COVID. No, so once we realized it was okay to just hang out, like during what passed for lockdown in New York, we started just getting together once a week and writing a song a week until we had like 11 songs. And then we were like, well, that's our new album. Haven't had one in 20 years. These songs, a lot of them have the theme of ham, the pork product known as ham.
Sorry.
Theme
Is
of
it okay
ham.
that it's funny?
And the album itself is called Warm Ham, and in parentheses, In a Foreign Home.
Oh, I didn't know there was parentheses.
There might actually, on the album title itself, it might not be parenthetical, but
Just in your mind.
I think the song title has parentheses.
Parentheses.
Yeah, it's on our lovely man Quintus's record label called BB Island in Germany
Hooray!
on ham-colored vinyl
No.
with real, in the vinyl, real cold cut bits.
Is the vinyl marbled?
Let's be honest, Angela and I both requested that it be marbled. But he, as a compromise, he's like, how about we just put little bits of actual cold cuts in the record?
The first record made a big impression on me. And then your second record, Camp Candy, was pretty much one of my top, like, I would say one of my favorite records of all time.
Oh, man.
What?
And
Oh.
not just by people that I know, but just one of my favorite records. And
Thank you so much.
I feel like I listened to that so much, when it came out. It was just a constant thing that I'd be playing on my iPod or at home or whatever, just walking around. Made such a huge impression on me. And I was so excited when we hadn't been to any shows, I think, in such a long time during COVID. And then I went and saw, was it at the Windjammer?
It was at the Jammer.
It was at the Windjammer where we just were last night to see Kung Fu Crime Wave. Went to the Windjammer and heard a mini set from you two at Double Deuce of you debuting some of your new stuff. And I was just like falling out of my seat because I was just like having such a good time. Like
Texting me a play-by-play. Oh
I-
my gosh, you'll never guess what's happening right now.
I was so excited. It was just like, it was such a huge deal for me to hear you two playing new songs, and yeah, just incredibly exciting. So I'm
Thank you.
thrilled that you have a new record.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Casey.
It means a lot. And yeah, we're excited too.
We'd love to hear one of your new songs.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to play from the new record would be amazing.
I do have to say, when we're playing a show and I look out and see a good friend like you and you're smiling and enjoying it, it just helps me so much. It makes me feel so good, helps me have more energy. I just feel like, yay, people I like think it's funny. And it helps.
So friends, get out and see the bands.
Yeah.
Go see your friends'
absolutely.
bands.
What do you want to play for us?
This song is called Cream Cheese Like This. And this is accompanied by a hand
Showing you how
gesture.
thick the cream cheese
Oh,
should be on a
about-
bagel.
4 inches.
4 to
that looks
5
like.
inches of
It's like an
franchise.
L with your thumb and index finger and just slightly smaller.
That's right.
Real thick.
Cream cheese like this. Sleeping with your mom. There's a heat wave in our town. Made thermometer brown. Creeping right along. I sing my song. It's about your dad. I gotta be at work at 2. Can you give me a ride before school? Watch me grab the till, but not before the pills. Watch me rehab bound. Where are you now? Can I bail you out? Stanford is a cesspool, it'll swallow you up. A little Hope Dunn Avenue, and now you're stuck. I'll see you at the Bull's Head Diner or the Lord and Taylor. Don't pay me now and I'll cut off your gator. For every high ridge there's a shadow ridge. For every grave digger there's a ditch. Whoa. Donut delight, cream cheese like this, cream cheese all night.
I was really holding it together until I looked at Casey and saw how delighted Casey was.
Aw.
There's a couple different malls in Connecticut, so you got to
That-
specify.
You know which mall.
In keeping with the theme of the show, which is my friend's band, who do you think is like your friend's band that maybe we should talk to on the show? Do you have any recommendations for us?
Yeah, we had two answers, if we may.
2 is okay because there's 2 of you.
Yeah, that's what we figured. Who I feel like are 2 of the most hardworking musicians that I know that have been putting out music consistently since we met, are always trying to get other people involved. There's Phoebe Kreutz and Susan Wong.
Oh.
2 people who I know you 2 know really well. And they're just community-centered people that are trying to share their music, but also get other people involved.
Great recommendations.
I count
Absolutely.
both of them as friends.
Well, I'm so excited that we were able to all talk today, and I want to thank you both so much. It's
Me
been
too.
such a privilege listening to you play music over the years.
And this podcast is so amazing, and thank you for making it. It's really, I feel
Don't thank
like,
us yet. You
Yeah.
haven't heard it.
Thank you for the idea. I feel like since I've met both of you, I remember even when we would be standing outside of Sidewalk 20 years ago saying, this time is so special. It's so amazing. We know so many talented, cool people, and everyone's music is genuinely so good and feeling so into it. And then 10 years after that, kind of saying the same thing with people and being like, what is going on? We're in some kind of really special like movement or scene. So
Yeah.
thanks
Yeah.
for highlighting that. 'cause it's
Absolutely.
really
Yeah.
true.
You said it really well. Yeah, it's true. We have been saying that for a long time to one another and feeling lucky for a long time.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
So lucky.
Woo! Double deuce.
Double Deuce.
Okay.
First episode down.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And thank you so much to Toby and Angela for being our first guests and for the awesome music in this episode, including our super cool theme song.
Make sure you check out their new record, Warm Ham in a Foreign Home, at the link in the description.
Speaking of links, you can visit us on Instagram at myfriendsbandpod or at our website, myfriends.band. We'll post extra links to Toby and Angela's other music and some photos we took at the interview. Before we go, we want to dedicate this episode to a music friend who has recently left us and become part of the universe, the amazingly gifted Doug Black, aka the Purple Organ. You are missed.
Love you, Doug. Follow us for the next episode of MFB and maybe give us a rating or review. And go see live music when you can.
Because it's double deuce, I'll just count 1, okay?
Okay.
1.
We'll see you out there.
there.